Good morning, students. So, today let's begin with the last portion of the chapter, that is the secondary growth in dicot roots. Now, already we have studied about in earlier classes what is secondary growth, isn't it? That means the growth that is responsible for thickness of the particular portion of the plant. Now, as we are studying about roots here, so in dicot, the thickness is done, or it is actually due to the presence of the secondary growth. Now, the secondary growth actually it occurs due to the vascular cambium and cork cambium cells. Okay. Now, vascular cambium cells, these are actually present in between the xylem and the phloem part. Now, if we go through this diagram, then see here, this is the epiblema, that is the outer portion of the root tissue. This is the cortex portion and this is endodermis, this is the vascular ring. Here in between the phloem and xylem, actually a tissue, that is a conjunctive parenchyma tissue develops, which get differentiates into the vascular cambium, okay, which is the main tissue responsible for the secondary growth. Now this vascular tissue is actually dividing gradually and they are forming the secondary xylem and phloem. The pericycle, which remains in contact with the protoxylem, that also divides and forms a ring of vascular cambium. Now see, this is the pericycle, it will also divide and form the vascular cambiums. Okay, now these vascular cambiums, they undergo now division. That means that which is present, this vascular cambium which is present here, it will now start dividing, and the division is bipolar. That means it will divide on both outer and inner surface and divide and form the secondary phloem and secondary xylem. Now the cells which are formed towards the outer part are called the secondary phloem, and those which are formed towards the inner part are called secondary xylem. Now the secondary xylem, it consists of vessels, xylem, parenchyma and fibers. Okay, here tracheids are almost absent. So these tissues will help in conduction of water and minerals. Again, the secondary phloem, it consists of sieve tube, companion cell, phloem, parenchyma and phloem fiber, and these also help in providing mechanical support and conduction of food materials. Okay, now see here, gradually when these tissues are developing, now in this diagram you can clearly see that the cambium tissues are dividing, and so these are forming, this is the secondary phloem, this is the primary phloem which was initially present, and here secondary phloem is formed. Simultaneously, this is the initial or primary xylem, and here secondary xylem is formed. Now the amount of actually xylem formed is much more as in comparison to the phloem. So whenever here more xylem is formed, it will exert a pressure towards the phloem portion, isn't it? Throughout this whole section it will exert a pressure, and when it is exerting the pressure, that means what happened, it will gradually now destroy, or not destroy exactly, actually crush the phloem part. That means the pressure that is exerted, it will crush the phloem tissues. Okay, that's why xylem is responsible for the gut, but phloem does not grow in thickness. Now again, what happened, the strip, we are already said that the pericycle, here we have got it, the pericycle also, here the vascular cambium rays are present. So these vascular cambium strips will develop into the vascular rays. Okay, and there are two types of vascular rays, we know, the xylem ray and the phloem rays, isn't it? And they will help in conduction of water and food. Okay, now next comes the cork cambium. The cork cambium is responsible for formation of phloem, phloem, ferrum, isn't it? We have already studied about it. So now the cork tissues or the cork cambium, they will undergo division. Okay, and they will now form the first the phallogen portion or the cork cambium. Phallogen, it will divide, it is also dividing in bipolar direction, that means both inner and outer side, and they will divide to form some compactly arranged rectangular cells towards the outer portion, and when they are forming this, these cells become suberized and gets deposited with tannin, and when tannin is deposited and suberized, that means these cells become dead, and that's why they form the phloem. okay, or the cork. That means in this portion you can see properly, this is the phloem portion which is being formed after the division of the cork cambium. Okay, the cork cambium divides to form the phloem portions towards the outer portion. Now these cells actually, they are heavily deposited with tannins, and so dead cells, so they will ultimately what happen, cannot conduct anything, but they will protect the internal tissue from pathogens and in mechanical injury. Okay, now at places what happen, the phloem gets interrupted by some type of particular openings, those which are known as the lenticels. Now see, these are the lenticels which will help in gaseous exchange. Okay, so gaseous exchange takes place through these lenticel cells, and now after division actually the whole periderm portion is formed. These are all similar to that of the dicot stem. Okay, now the phloem, phallogen and phalloderm, that means the cork cambium or phallogen, it will divide outer side, inner side. Outer side it will give rise to the phloem, and towards the inner side it will develop and give rise to the phalloderm. All these together are known as the periderm tissues. Okay, so this is the whole thing about the anatomy, secondary growth of dicot root. Now as almost the whole parts are covered up, so you go through the books, go through the notes, diagrams are given to you, and if you have anything, any confusion, please let me know.